Check, check. Just doing the old spam the link around a bit, then I'll get right to the painting. Hello, dark matter. Hello, Cyber Scorpio. Almost done. Setting everything up here. Alright, I think that's good. Let's remove the old holding screen here. Hello, Kalinas. Thanks for coming, everybody. Here's our purple boy. Let me turn my phone ringer off. That's a good idea. How's everyone doing tonight? And of course we've got our can here. Let's move the Sazabi out of the splash zone though while I crack this. Sorry, I got distracted by my phone. I gotta just leave it over there. Well, there we go. I was trying to turn that into a let's paint. It didn't quite work out though. That's burp 1 though. Just moving my dragon coaster over. Oh, that's where the mouse needs to go. We gotta put the drink over by Ava Unit 1 or Unit 2 tucked into the corner there. So, as you probably saw from the posts, we're Or I'm gonna be working on starting the purple glazing now, which is probably gonna be the longest stage of the project, which is pretty exciting. I mean, the glazing purple is one of the more exciting, or I've always known it's gonna be one of the more exciting parts of the project, just because purple's a fun color to paint. And obviously it's not gonna be finished in this session, so let's blow some dust off this. So in this, since this is the very start of it for this stream, I'll probably just be like picking an area and then focusing on it. I mean, by that I mean like picking small areas like this section of the bell bottom, or like this side skirt, and just doing like one little chunk at a time, because I gotta do this like little chunks at a time, especially this main body piece, because it's you know, it can be pretty daunting otherwise. Like in these large areas here, or like the areas under the foot, are gonna be a bit different than these parts, so I need to kind of just get a feel for what I want the glaze to be on these like contained sections. It's a bit easier first, and then it'll make the larger sections easier to tackle. And as you can also see, the black is basically finished, so that's looking nice and crispy for me anyways. And there's also been the initial glazes. That's what these really messy pink blotches are. That's just so I know where to start with the high end of the gradient, or the bright end. And we did an initial like low glaze on the fins here, and that was just like one sloppy brush stroke, and it looks pretty good dried already, so it makes me think that that part's gonna be pretty quick to do when I get to the green glazing, which will be after the purple is completely done. There we go, burp 2. Oh, 2 burps, I haven't even started painting it. Could be a problem. Burp 3. That one, I just am choking on the Coke a bit. It's like making the burps happen faster. Alright, so we're starting off with the base of this purple, the violet red. And we're just gonna like tidy up any areas where that base coat just isn't strong enough, or areas that I might have made a mistake on or missed, stuff like that. Oh yeah, we just gotta arrange the brushes properly here. And I've taken to covering I like keep my paint water covered up in this Tupperware with its lid when I'm not painting, in an attempt to like keep dust out of the water. Sup Caleb, thanks for coming. And yeah, I don't know, it's hard to tell whether it makes a difference or not, but if anything, it makes it like if I screw it on properly and I accidentally tip over the tub or something, I won't get water everywhere. If it's like just put off to the side because I'm doing something other than painting. Sorry, I just bumped the mic there. Okay, and I think we'll start with thinning with just a little bit of thinner. We don't need much, because we want this when we're using the bottom end here, we don't want it to be that translucent. Okay, and I think to start off, we'll yeah, and I do have the glove. Yeah, I think it's probably time to put the glove on because the black is finished, but I've got some paint on the brush, so let me just use that up first. Let's focus on just one or like two areas to start. We'll do this part of the leg and the side skirt. So what we're gonna do first is reinforce the base coat. Any areas that there might have been mistakes. And it's okay if we go over our edge highlighting from before, because that was mostly there to map out the overall shape. And it was gonna get a second round of edge highlighting anyways. And that should be good. So now we'll go up to the side one up here. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to just have a second coat of the purple on here, because the base coats are usually done a little hasty in my case. Because I know there's always going to be another round after. I need to reposition the mic arm because the end of my brush keeps hitting it. And there's also especially like lots of spots on the legs where the base coat is very uneven. And I just gotta make sure I don't make mistakes on the metallic or black sections. But if I do, that just would make extra work to clean it up later, which isn't the worst. It doesn't need to interrupt the purple painting. Okay. You got an airbrush setup. Nice, congratulations. I think you mentioned that, or you might have been waiting for it last stream. Have you given it a shot yet? You sprayed any paint through it? Okay, I'm just gonna mute the mic for a sec while I adjust the arm. Alright, hopefully that sounds more or less the same. And yeah, the mic is on a weird bendy gooseneck, if anyone was wondering. Okay, for the next bit, I'm wondering if I should like do more sections than just those two. I can stick it all to one side actually, that makes sense. So then I can like have references and do the other side off stream. So I'm gonna keep using the purple or the violet red here and just start blocking in a few other sections. Give myself a bit longer of a step. I need to make the camera a little brighter though. Just didn't quite look bright enough. So we're gonna do this front skirt here for sure. And I think I should probably do like the whole part and not just that one front face there. These side parts don't involve that much extra work anyways. And like with all my projects, the highlighting I'm doing here is kind of just guesswork. So my like lighting physics might not be super realistic, and they never have been for any of my projects. I'm just like using my eye as best I can to be like, I think that's the direction the gradient would go according to the lighting I'm imagining. Yeah, for instance, I know this part here, I need, it just didn't get the base coat it needed, so I'm not gonna do that part. I guess we can focus on just all the side sections here, because that's all, like, relatively contained. I feel like that's probably enough for the... Or we could do the one panel of the head here. Or I feel like I should do the whole head at once. Let's just take baby steps here. I say to myself. You get to all just hear my thought process live. These side pieces are very inconsequential now that I think of it, because they're going to be covered. So I should have this darker color go higher, actually. I mean, they're not going to be covered. They're going to be somewhat visible depending on the angle, but like the big shoulders are going to be very distracting at that section. Waiting on the vent hood. Yeah, that's important. How many kits do I have? I don't know if you're asking me, Samuel, but I don't know. I've got too many kits. The shelves are full. I've got a lot. I've never counted all of them. Yes, I do my best not to sneeze. Sometimes I can't control it, though. Thanks, Guy. And thanks for coming, by the way, Guy and Samuel. You're the new chatters I just am noticing. How close am I to being done with the project? That's a good question. I feel like I'm definitely halfway, maybe like 2/3. So there's definitely going to be at least one more stream after this, but there's also going to be a lot more off-stream painting. I am tracking the hours, though, so I'll probably mention in the description of the photos when it's done how long it took. Or maybe I won't, maybe it'll be a mystery, but I feel like it's not gonna end up being, it's not gonna break the record of 100 hours that was with the Buster Gundam, because that one had a lot more colors involved. Thanks, Guy. Yeah, I mean, for context, Samuel, the Astaroth rebake, the orange Kitbash I did, that took 50 hours. 50. Was that burp 4 or 5? I can't remember. Burp 6? Well, let's say that one was burp 5. I think that's where we're at. Yeah, so the Astaroth rebake took about 50 hours, but then the Buster Gundam, which was a master grade, not a high grade, took 100 hours. Okay, I think this mix needs a bit more violet red in it to go for the kind of mid-tone. Where now I'm mixing like what the 50-50 mix is supposed to be ish. But as long as it starts at the violet red and ends at the pink, then that'll look close enough for all the armor. Oh, and my favorite grade of kits, I'd say, is probably high grade, but I don't know. It's either high grade or master grade. I haven't built a perfect grade yet. Fingers crossed there's like a Zaku perfect grade unleashed this year or next year, just eventually. And I'm using the glaze medium instead of the thinner at this point. I don't know if anyone noticed that, but I forgot to say while I was doing it. What did Saturday's stream would have been That was just finishing the edge highlighting of the black on the arms, I believe. What's up, Eli? Geez, 6 burps deep, 21 minutes in. Yeah, I guess so. Okay. So now this is like the kind of ideal middle part of the glaze. I could, if this stuff I mixed, I was gonna say I could like start doing the parts that I didn't go over with the base coat again if there's like leftover on the palette, but I'll probably just use that to like keep mixing up to the pink. Yeah, so it was here, 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 and here. Need to adjust my posture a bit. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting to put the glove on. I need to do that. This almost looks a little too on the pink side, but we'll have to see what it looks like when it's dry. That's why I'm doing these smaller sections first. That's where the WAP really comes in handy. I can see I got a bit of like purple there on the black already. Well, I guess we'll be fixing that after the purple's done. Whoops, touched wet paint with my finger there. Badly. Yeah, this shade I ended up mixing is like being used more for the bright end of the gradient than I intended, so I'll probably mix in more of the dark end next. The only contests I've entered have been local ones. Either there's one that was like a Gunpla specific small community event that had a competition, and then there was one for the same community that was now part of like the larger anime convention, ran another competition. So those are the only scale modeling ones I've done. Glad you like that post, Caleb. That post sure got a lot of likes. It's probably because I barely ever post selfies like that. When I do, everyone's like, what? Liam doesn't put selfies. I'm glad that the stream helped you out that way last time, Kalinas. Your party is in a bad rabbit hole. Well, I hope they make it out. Sup, Robert? Long time no see. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I mean, purple could be a good or a bad guy color. I suppose it depends on who you ask whether it's more of a good or a bad guy color. Okay, we are mixing more glaze medium and I keep forgetting the name, violet red in. And we'll just try and have two kind of color zones mixed on the WAP now. Because now we're getting pretty into the blend-in zone now, or at least that's the idea. All right, let's put the glove on now before I forget. Yeah, I still have only watched the prologue of G-Witch, but I'm very eager to watch the actual show. Me and Blue Parappa finally finished Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which is pretty decent, you know, like a 7 or an 8. So I'd like to catch up with G-Witch soon. Oh, that kind of rabbit hole, I see. Yeah, G-Witch. Oh yeah, I watched this, so I was gonna say, I watched Ray Studios' newest video today where he makes a 1/100 scale Gundam aerial, like mostly from scratch, before the like Bandai, or like right around the same time that Bandai announced a 1/100 scale like full mechanics Gundam aerial. It's pretty impressive. It's like, well, every time I watch one of his videos, I'm like, I always say it feels like being flexed on, because his modeling skills are just, you know, very good. Well, some of the first Gunpla YouTube content recommended to me ever, before I like had ever customized any, was like the Race Studio Barbatos. Barbatos. Oof. So that's 6 or 7. I think it's 6. I feel like usually when I'm deciding what I want to paint on stream, I lean more towards painting the big chunky body piece here rather than painting the individual arms, shoulder pieces, and back tail thing. Do you all agree with that? Or would you all rather see me paint the smaller pieces that are separate? Oodna good. Oh, that's good to hear, Litterbot. Congratulations on getting into Gamma Wolves. I don't know when there's gonna be another battle report, so not planning on doing one soon. Like, the next video isn't gonna be a battle report. And the video after that will be decided via a poll on my Patreon for the $10 and above patrons, so one of the options on there very well might be a battle report, and there's also a chance it might be a battle report for something that isn't Gamma Wolves. I haven't figured out what exactly is going to be on the poll yet. I might just say like battle report and then nothing else, and then I can, if the patrons vote on battle report, then whoops, made a little mistake there. I need a mop up. Then I'll just make whatever battle report I want, or maybe I'll specifically say Gamma Wolves battle report. Like I said, I haven't decided yet. But I definitely want to do another battle report sometime. There's also, like, it's been a while since I've done like a big, or the last like big proper Gunpla build video I did was the Buster Gundam, and that was what, 3 or 4 videos ago, and I know there's like people in my audience hankering for that, so there'll definitely be some of that on the patron poll. That's just the aspect of my content that I've chosen to put behind that particular Patreon paywall. But I was thinking, me and Blue Prep were talking about Gamma Wolves today. Yes, there's so many different things for people to lust after with my content. There's the clacks, the battle reports, the painting. Alright, well, good luck with cleaning things up there, Robert. Yeah, I was saying Blue Parappa is working on putting together her own Gamma Wolves crew, and then the name for her Gamma Wolves crew, the working title we got now is the Big Booty Gang, or it's either the Big Booty Bitches or the Big Booty Gang. And I've just been thinking lately about like what my next Gamma Wolves crew's name will be, and like protagonist and antagonist go, like those names just like face off against each other well. I'm having trouble coming up with a name for whatever my next team would be. I have no idea. I probably like will start. I probably won't name it until I like actually do the first suit for it. Okay. I think we just gotta keep on blending now. Yeah, I don't know whenever I do more Gamma Wolf stuff, the main question I have to start off with is whether I want the bases to be, like what color I want to do for the bases, basically. Whether I want to go for the, my teal pattern again, so it matches the protagonist and antagonist, and then those crews can kind of be interchangeable, or whether I want to like create a new motif. Do I want more base consistency or more room to play around and explore? Yeah, so what I'm doing now is just kind of like glazing up the layers. Sorry, I'm just entering a flow state. It's hard to talk. This area, it's like, it probably needs to be a bit drier, or I laid it on a bit too thick before, but you can kind of see how the blend is starting to form. I can't say, Robert, maybe measure your space first and then write it down, so you can go check out some like physical desks in a space like IKEA or a store or whatever, and try and find the one that most efficiently uses up the space you got in the room. My setup is a mishmash of different products and brands. It's not optimal. The booty bolts, yeah, that'd be good. Litter bought my preferred Gundam series. If going by mech design, probably be Iron-Blooded Orphans. But if I'm going by like which one is the better anime, I'd say like Thunderbolt is the better anime, but I like the designs in Iron-Blooded Orphans better. Alright, now we're going back to the lighter tone. Let's not glaze that area because, like I said earlier, that area wasn't dry enough. Let's go back to here. This area is clearly still very uneven and will need more coats for sure. And we're just working on live blending almost. See ya, Robert. Yeah, I mean, fun. I'd say Thunderbolt is very, very good. I don't know if I'd use the word fun to describe it. It's pretty dark. It's the most grimdark Gundam thing I've seen. And Iron-Blooded Orphans is pretty grimdark too. Now that I mention it. Yeah, Iron-Blooded Orphans has some real good designs. I think it's a pretty good show too. I get some people's complaints about it, but I think some people, well, I mean, like with any media, especially anime, people like to complain about it. I don't think Iron-Blooded Orphans gets too much undeserved hate, though. Touch that part with my hand again. Gotta be more careful there. Sorry, chat, I'm just getting in the zone with the glaze in here, you know? War in the Pocket? I don't know if it's super grim. I haven't watched it. Maybe it is. The 8th MS team, yeah, that one was very good. I've seen that one. It's decently dark. I wouldn't call it grim dark. Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's true, Calder. Burb 7, new record. Sim for the tall geese. Yeah, the tall goose, tall geese. It's an iconic, so many iconic designs in Wing Gundam. Sorry for any mouth noises I made into the mic there. Yeah, there might be some smoothness issues on this piece. It might require a bit more elbow grease than the others. I think I just keep glazing with what's on the palette before I add anything new. I think I just keep doing that for now. War in the Pocket's about contrast. Is War in the Pocket a Universal Century show? Is it like set during the 1-year war? This glazing feels like it's gotten a lot I feel like I'm more know what I'm doing now. Hey, thanks for the $5 super chat, Caleb Sweet. New burp record. Oh boy, I'm being rewarded for my burp behavior. Thanks, appreciate it. There might be something left in the cans still. We'll see. We'll see if we get past 7. Such an accomplishment. 7 burps in one stream. Put that on my resume. I hope y'all don't mind just me being too in the zone with the glazing to talk when the brush is all loaded up. I promise I'll like keep reading the chat. You know, my eyes need to take a break from staring at the model still when I'm washing off the brush. I can turn up the music if it's not loud enough. From what I've heard people say in the chat before, it seems like you all enjoy the vibe of how I got it set up. Gundam 00. I've watched like 3 episodes of it, I think. It's pretty decent. Maybe when I start working on my Master Grade GNX, which I have no current plans for, I'll like start watching it to get more inspired. Nice. The ending of episode 1 of Gundam Wing is burned into my memory. Such a good powerful moment. Getting invited to the birthday and then just ripping it up and saying, "I'll kill you." I'm not worried about, or I don't feel bad about being in the zone. I just, more was curious as to how you all felt. I figured most of you just enjoyed the vibe. Okay, we'll do one more pass on this brighter spot and then we'll switch back to the darker mix. Maybe perhaps mix in a bit of the darker shade again. You know, in this pass, you know, I'm staying more to the highlight end because we are at this point building up layers of brightness. You don't like Death Scythe? Yeah, that's a bit of a hot take. Yeah, there's definitely a few areas of the black that'll need to be fixed. Whoopsie. That's probably a pretty inevitable, or somewhat inevitable. Yeah, the top end of the gradient, by the time this purple glazing is done, probably won't be like pure pink, but that's fine because it'll just make the edge highlights contrast more and stand out, which will help the overall look for sure. Because it'll just look edgier. Oh, look, a bot. Guess I should take care of that. One moment, let me just hide this user from the channel. Is there more than one? No, it looks like just the one. Sorry, Caleb, I approved that message of yours from earlier. Okay, looks like I took care of the bot for now. Pointy toes. That's always fun. I always like dainty feet on a Gundam. Yeah, no Virgo model kit. I guess that's a bit of a surprise. Oh yeah, maybe. Can I still report? I'll have to report next time and then hide it after. Master Grade Wing Gundam. If you've never tried the Model Mayhem painting style before, you might want to try on like a high grade or an SD first and then a master grade. If you want like, or if you like absolutely love the wing model, then you might want to like just consider like practicing on a model you care a bit less about first to kind of get a hang for the hand painting. Okay, we're gonna put in a bit more glazed medium into the mix. But you know, if you feel like you can handle it, I won't stop you. You do you. Alright, now we're kind of going back to the darker bit. Go bankrupt. I don't know if you go bankrupt, but you'd probably have to use up your rainy day funds for that one. Unless they're all P Bandai. Good use of the emojis there. 0EXE. That is a good naming gimmick for that series. Been a while since the bot was here. It's been like a good, I feel like 5 or 6 streams since I've had to hide the bot. How exciting. The Master Grade SD. I think I talked about that a bit last stream, but I mean, it's fair to ask again. I don't think I'm gonna get it, but I think it's pretty neat. It looks like pretty solid. I can't remember exactly what the price is, but I think it's a neat concept. I don't know. We'll have to see like how much the community takes onto it as to whether like Bandai will make another one. You know, if they don't sell a lot of it, it'll probably just be a one-off thing. I wasn't expecting it to be the Freedom Gundam. I was expecting another, you know, RX-78-2. I feel like most people were, and I'm glad it wasn't, just because it's been a lot of that one recently. SD Gamma Wolves team. Yeah, I'm sure I'll end up painting an SD style in Model Mayhem eventually, or an SD Gundam in Model Mayhem style. I don't know if I'd do a whole Gamma Wolves team. If someone commissions me to do a SD Model Mayhem style, that'd be one way for it to happen sooner rather than later. I don't have any current plans. Yeah, $60 for the Master Grade SD seems reasonable Canadian to me anyways. Yeah, here there's... didn't quite blend the way I wanted it to. I think we gotta get some more pink on the palette. Cosmic Era stuff has some pretty good designs overall. It needed to have it, but it didn't need to. I guess so, yeah. Alright, more pink and more glazed medium on the palette. Let's go. We're gonna like get it. Yeah, I kind of have my mix go in the wrong direction. So we're just gonna start on a little new pink zone over here. Good pace, Bahamut. Yeah, and there is that the life-size statue in, was it Shanghai? That's a Freedom Gundam, right? Okay, so we're just gonna grab some of this and just mix it in right here. They all use the same hips. Yeah, Shinenju's a good design. I like it. I mean, yeah, Bandai's done that with that. They did that with that American flag RX-78-2 this summer, right? Or spring, I can't remember when exactly. Does the camera need to be brighter, or is it a good brightness for everyone to see what's going on right now? That's right, Gunpla Modify. It is paint time. Glaze time, to be specific. wrong part of the palette. Should have rinsed the brush off first, actually, before I grabbed more. I feel like we're getting close to kind of finishing this hand-pick collection sections. I probably could have added a bit more to it at the start, or like been a bit more ambitious. I don't know how many people watching now are here for that part where I was explaining my thought process. Oh, but, that'll probably look better once it dries. I feel like this, yeah, I'm not sure what the gradient's missing. Ah, that's what you mean by the hip, or that's why they were mentioning the hips. Oh, why hello, sugar candy miniatures. That's like my 7.5 burp. I broke the burp record tonight. How was the rest of your stream? You chopping down a tree? Don't chop down any trees. I think we've had enough viewers going for the hour of the stream so far. I think we're decently hyped that you don't have to cut down any trees. Oh yeah, Firefox, nice. Is it 8 burps, really? Okay, I think I'm gonna add just another drop of glaze medium there, mix in an even brighter tone. Bahamut is also the Lorax, apparently. Gotta glaze it even brighter. Yeah, pretty decent, Fiverr. Pretty decent. I see some undesirable fibers are making their way into the paint mix as usual. Spaghetti sauce again. I don't know, that seems kind of specific. Might interrupt my glazing flow state that I got going right now. I burped 8 times. Isn't that hype enough? Oh good, my super chat widget updated properly. I forgot to check that earlier. I've only had a couple, I changed it since the last time, so I think the change I did was only on the highest super chat section though. It is of no matter though, nothing's changed. I think like these side areas of the chest here can pretty much call those. I feel like those can basically be done now. I said your username right? Bohamut. Stretch goals at 10 burps. Yeah, I got some water here too. Don't worry, Caleb. As much as I meme on the whole drinking your paint water thing, I don't think I can't remember if I've ever accidentally drank my paint water. I've accidentally like swished around my paintbrush and like a not paint water cup before. Bahamut, I use the same varnish I would use on like other I've gone through a few different ones. Usually it's like acrylic matte varnish. Lately I've been using the army painter one. Like it's the same kind you would use on other models. Like like if you paint with acrylics, you can varnish with a lacquer if you want, as long as like things are cured. Looks like the bot's back. Okay, I'm going to report them first. Let's say that's spam or explicit material. Let's report that and hide the user. All right. What flavor water? I mean, I use like a Brita water filtered water for my paints. Just to, I don't know how much of a difference it makes, but like I might as well. It's not that much of a pain to do. To give the brushes the sweep. Or I also have I have like basic brush cleaner and brush restorer. They're Vallejo products. When they run out, I'm not sure if I'll replace them with the same product or try a different kind of like brush shampoo or something. And I use glaze medium and like universal thinner sometimes when I'm thinning it down, but sometimes I also oh, was that 9? Are you not entertained? What was I saying? I'll also just thin with water sometimes. Okay, now we're kind of nearing those final blend-in stages on these sections. But this big panel down here, it's like looking a little patchy in areas. So it, you know, like needs more layers in general. Could that be too bright? Perhaps. You know, the glazing always has a lot of back and forth. The prophet has spoken. A full armored wing Gundam would look like? Good question. My favorite Ava design? Also good question. Well, Bahama answered the Wing Gundam question well enough, I think. Favorite Ava design? I don't know, it's hard to beat Ava Unit 1. Ava Unit 2. Yeah, I mean, it's really cliche, but it might be like Ava Unit 1, number 1 design. Ava Unit 2, number 2 design. Elfrith simps in chat tonight. I don't know if I call myself a simp, but I think it's a good design. Is Elfrith simp a term that's getting thrown around a lot right now online? Elfrith is like, it's kind of just looks like the Ariel, but in different colors to me. It doesn't seem that much different. Is anyone, are any of the Elfrith simps in chat able to tell me what the specific differences between an Ariel is? Yeah, I feel like you would understand that, Fiverr. The Ava thing, not the Elfrith thing. Yeah, it's a hard point to prove wrong. Gunpla modify. Well, maybe 0xexe is an Elfrith simp. Perhaps. I can see why I would get that nickname, Gunpla modify. I haven't seen that prelude, Calder. Yeah. I mean, it's not surprising the Witch from Mercury is stirring up some discourse about the more feminine kits. I think they're pretty cool, though, personally. So now I'm kind of like just grabbing paint that's... and like doing a bit of wet blending on like a single piece here and like switching between the different spots on the palette before moving on to the next piece. For some kind of wet blending, sorta. Barbatos stands have entered the chat. Yeah, the bunny ears are good. It's a good design for sure. Blue Parappa recently got one of those like feminine 30-minute missions kits. She was building part of it today and admiring how parts of the headpiece has like cat ears kind of. Yeah, I mean, if Witch for Mercury seems to be having a pretty good reception right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Master Grade announced. Maybe it'll release like around this time next year. It's hard to say. Stuff like that seems to always be planned pretty far in advance. Or maybe they've already got it ready to go. They're just that confident with the show. You know, it'd be pretty surprising if they didn't at least, if there wasn't like one single Master Grade Gundam Ariel at the very least. It's not as dark as I need. Close enough. Have to wait for this part to dry to see to see what it really needs. Yeah, that it would work well with a stealth paint job. It's got that sleek look. The mid-season transformation. I mean, there's always some kind of upgrade that happens to the protagonist suit. Good old matte black. Yeah, there's that flight expansion set. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, I guess the Master Grade Barbatos didn't come out until a few years after Iron-Blooded Orphans was actually airing. Don't want to get too excited now. Okay. I think I want to start working on a new area. We're going to focus on this whole, I don't know, front part of the bell bottom is what you would call it, maybe. And we're gonna like keep working on areas like here. They'll need like a few odd bits of paint here and there. But I want to add a new chunk to the workflow. Stealth Bunny Commando Squad. Master Grade G Self. Yeah, that sounds like a bit of an obscure one. Yeah, I mean, speculation on possible kits coming out. That's kind of like, I mean, that's all it is, right? Speculation. Don't mind me just having some water there. Alright, mixing in more violet red and then more glaze medium. I wonder if I'll run out of violet red by the end of this project. Jester Gundam. Don't forget the Tequila Gundam too. That was another mini burp. I don't know if that counts as a full one. Yeah, that is a good question, Bahamut. I could also work on the head. That could be like a good concise area to work around. There's a few areas I could do. Stuff like that. G-Self is never getting a master grade. You might be right. Who knows? $9.5, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I feel like one of the burps I did earlier was also a half one, so maybe a total I'm just at 9 now. Ferrari Gundam, damn. Why wasn't that in G Gundam? Just need a little bit of water in the mix. Got some nice grapefruit juice right now, kind of. Or I guess it's not grapefruit juice, it's like pink lemonade. Grapefruit juice has more orange in it. The most depressed you got when you realized there would be no Ferrari Gundam. Honestly, fair. Okay, back to the bottom end of the gradient now, glazing on up again. Yeah, I feel like I need to add just like one splotch of pure violet red there at the bottom, because it's like something's a little off. There's just that one troubled part at the bottom. It doesn't feel like glazing's quite cutting it. The turn X, yeah, I've heard, or yeah, P-Bandai release. That would even be tempting for me, and I don't always get P-Bandai stuff. Or I don't get it often. Oh, that's a little not safe for work, Bahamut. I mean, I can see why, but that might just have to live as fan fiction. I don't think G Gundam's gonna get a sequel. It's a good tight series as it is. Tight like the spandex they wear in their cockpits. Now this glaze is quite thin. Maybe that's why it wasn't glazing the way I wanted it to. No matter, this way you can all just really see how much of a glazing process it is. For this front part of the bell bottom I'm working on now, you could say that's too thin of a glaze. This thinness is more appropriate for the areas up here that are kind of like almost done. So let's work on those instead. Why don't we? They don't call it a cockpit for nothing. I mean, I'd say Iron-Blooded Orphans deserves comments like that more so than G Gundam, because like in Iron-Blooded Orphans they basically imply what goes on in the cockpit with Mikazuki, you know? How he's like, you know, minor Iron-Blooded Orphan spoilers, you know how he has to like be plugged into Barbatos to use some of his limbs. That's all I'll say for now. Thanks, Reanimated Fish. Yeah, I'd say, well, I mean, the main sections we've been working on is like these three. And I'd say the gradient's looking pretty tasty. If I do say so. We're in the real back and forth blendy part at the moment. I feel like I need to get some more glazed medium in here. Yeah, that's true, Kalinus. So does the, you couldn't finish IBO. Fair, I guess. The 8th MS, yeah, I guess that one's a little horny. Yeah, I mean, Gundam 00 has the crotch pit with the GNX. Mecha Musume kit. Oh, I'm bad at painting real skin, though. Yeah, let's get a bit more glaze. Okay, the drop there and a drop here. This is for the brightest end. Gonna try and finish up these 3 sections here so I can just move on entirely to a new section. Man, doing this without a wet palette would basically be impossible for me. Return a girlfriend. I get it. I get that joke. Oh, that's probably need to be grabbing from here instead. Definitely some wet blending action going on here now. Nine Tails, I don't know that one. Yeah, that would be a good Halloween custom. I leave the seasonal projects up to people like Fiverr. I'm bad at being on track to do seasonally appropriate projects. You know, like Halloween or Orktober. That wasn't quite the tone I wanted. That's a bit more appropriate. Okay, I feel like those are pretty close to being done. Hello, Titan. Yes, I also have multiple projects on the go, Bahamut. As you probably heard me say before. Yeah, I am also a user of space heaters. It's not quite cold enough where I am now to need to break out the space heater yet, but it's nearby, ready to go, let me tell you. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back to working on this while the paint's drying on the other parts. We're just gonna use what's on the palette. And you know, this side of the leg is more in shadow, so I need to make the gradient a bit more drastic on that one. What's up, Dolfo? Thanks for coming by. Yeah, spray cans, those are a little harder to use inside, for sure. Sorry, I missed that message, Cyber Scorpio. Oh, on Fate character. There's one Fate series I watched. I think it was only 6 episodes or so. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Fate Stay Night. It's got good designs, but at the time, I was like trying out a few different animes. I was like trying to pick up a new show to like watch all the way through. And it was between Fate and Gundam Unicorn. And I ended up picking Gundam Unicorn. Which in hindsight was probably the right choice. Just so I can be, you know, brushed up on the Gundam lore. This was before I started the YouTube channel. Fate seemed cool though. Definitely has some good character designs. I can see why there's so much merch and like spin-off stuff. I feel like I've seen a few good Fate Gunpla customs online here and there. I don't think it was Unlimited Budget Works. Or did you mean Blade Works? Oh, sorry, Caleb. You've got a message there I need to approve. ADHD is a blessing and a curse in some ways. Darling in the Franxx has some unique mech designs. Man, Darling in the Franxx is kind of an objectively bad show in many ways, but not gonna lie, it was fun to like watch it while it was airing, just because like that was a fun one to participate in, just the memes with, similar to Game of Thrones season 8. Game of Thrones season 8, I'd say it was worse than Darling in the Franxx. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it was probably because you said bitch, Caleb, in the chat. That's probably why it like held it for review. And next stream I program, I'll check and see what the censorship settings are. Same people that do Demon Slayer, nice. Demon Slayer does indeed have some good animation. A little hard on the gradient there. Let's reel that in a bit. Hope I'm not moving the focus of the camera around too much. Oh good, the camera can still kind of see when I'm working on this awkward inside part. Oh, look who's back. Time to report the bot, everybody. And they are reported, and I am hiding them. And they're gone. Intrusive creative ideas. Oh, I missed some other messages. Let me scroll up. The intro song for Darling is pretty good, that's true. The story was wild, yep, you could definitely say that. Glad you think the kid's looking good, Dolfo. Yeah, Darling in the Franxx was like the mecha anime that most needs to go to horny jail. Yeah, it's hard to do the same thing every day when you got a bunch of different hobbies, Bahamut. I mean, I've been working with brushes for many hours. I'm pretty like I say, it's my comfort zone, Dolfo. Bleach. I mean, if I'm gonna do a kit that has a big sword, I'd be more likely to do Berserk-inspired kit. I haven't read or watched Bleach, though. Blue Parappa, I don't know if she's finished either, but I know she's read and or watched Bleach. That was one of her junior high animes. For me, that was more Inuyasha. I think that's too bright for where I'm putting it, actually. There's more of a mid-tone. That area, I should have let it dry a bit more. I think I want to start blending this top chest piece. I think that'll be enjoyable. Have I looked up Gun X Sword yet? No, I haven't. Gun X Sword is a good title, though. Dante and Virgil. That'd be a fun Kitbash, or just that'd be a fun inspiration for a project in general. Okay, let's add some violet red to the palette. Yes, as so many shonen anime do, Shane. Blip blips, is that what you call them, the magnums? That is one of the fun parts of the Vidar kit. Not many kits I can think of come with 2 handguns like that. Yeah, I think what I'll move on to now is I'll do this chest part and then these 3 curvy panels on the head. I feel like that'll be a good little section to focus in on for a bit. Tokyo Ghoul is an aesthetic, that's for sure. I watched the first 12 episodes of that, it was pretty good. Yeah, Dynamez has those as well, that's true. Just gonna get our wet blending on right away. Maybe we won't do the headpiece yet. Maybe we'll just focus on this chest piece and only that for now. It might be better. Getting a little streaky. Okay, well, let's just go to the... Oh, no, we got the side pieces we can work on, too. That makes more sense to do that than the head. I guess they're a little impractical, so is a sword. But what would Barbatos be without the cool ninja sword, or the katana? Oh, okay, I see what you mean. That would be insane as a mech. Oh, an RX-78 playing Charner from the Game of Magic. That sounds like an amazing diorama. Alright, thanks for watching, Bahamut. Hope to see you next time. Have a good one. I think we need to moisten up this wet palette with some more glaze medium. Yeah, just a bit over here. I should try and use up as much of the paint that's on there already, and then kind of, when I refill, I should just put both colors on at the same time and have a more deliberate, like, line of paints or line of shades going on the palette. Brush was a little overloaded there. Oh, and I did, I think it was Dolfo that suggested, I can't remember, I did lock the waste pieces in place. I managed to, like, get a tricky gluing angle and get those locked in before I finished the black armor. So I don't have to worry about that as much. You know, I still aim to not put too much pressure on them, because there's still a little give to it. Dex's biggest cards. Yeah, those would be pretty big Magic cards. I mean, with Gunpla, modify the... If you can handle Magic the Gathering, there's definitely lots of mini games you could handle. There might be, like... Yeah, I mean... If you dive in straight to, like, you know, into like army-sized games, Warhammer 40k, it's gonna be a little overwhelming, but you know, games like Infinity, those ones are pretty crunchy on the rules and the amount of things you need to remember, but there's lots of games out there that aren't like that. Yeah, I mean, like Magic the Gathering, the base game itself might not be like too complex, but it's got like a high skill ceiling. And if you can like understand the intricacies of deck building and stuff, or like deck archetypes, like you can probably handle a lot of mini games. My favorite color combos in Magic are like red, blue, green, and red, green, black. There's always some kind of red in there. Red, blue, there's like a fun combo. But you know, yes, anytime you play blue, you can feel kind of mean about it sometimes, depending on what kind of blue deck you have. I don't play Magic that much anymore, but when I do, I prefer it to be EDH. Before I like got into War Machine and Hordes, I played a decent amount of competitive Magic, and yeah, I don't know, I probably went harder on the competitive Magic than I did the competitive War Machine, but I'd say overall the competitive War Machine was a bit more like mentally taxing. Yeah, I can't speak for the new edition of Kill Team, but the last edition of Kill Team I played in like 2019 was a good way to like dip your toes in. Or like, you know, Warcry if you're more into the fantasy stuff. More glaze medium. Yeah, 40k commander decks. That's one way to get Magic players into 40k. A collaboration for the ages. Oh, Grand Prix and Invitationals, nice. I played competitive standard at like the end of Return to Ravnica block up to, or like throughout most of Theros block. You know, in hindsight, Theros block was like kind of meh. But I had some fun times winning, or I went 4-0 in like local events twice, and that was pretty fun, but I definitely played against a lot of unsavory opponents when I was playing Magic at the shops regularly. Definitely happened more often with Magic than it did with wargaming stuff, but it's fine. It's like the fact that Magic games take less time, there's like less incentive to be super polite to your opponent, I guess, is the way some people treat it. Probably the most fun I had was a red-green Gruul deck, and it's like towards the end of Return to Ravnica block standard. That was a fun deck. It was like a Blood Rush themed deck. I guess I might have mentioned this last stream too, but I played a decent amount of Magic the Gathering Arena in the like 2018-ish era. There's a fun red, green, blue elemental deck with Omnath, Locus of Mana I had some good times with. Okay, let's go back up to the chest area actually. I've got my fingers crossed for you, Dolfo. Kill Team is a very good introduction into 40k if you're looking to get into 40k. Even if you play it once and don't like it, you'll probably end up with some cool models and terrain. Five color dragons, not a single land untapped. Yeah. Pinker shade of purple on the Sazabi's drone. Yeah, I mean, I guess when all it's like ending up as a pretty strong magenta overall, which was kind of the plan the whole time. Violet red was only ever going to be like the base color that the gradient was getting built up on. Oh, that sounds like a deadly combo, Gunpla. What I didn't like about Theros block was just mono black devotion and mono blue devotion were everywhere. It got really stale. Yeah, I mean, that's what lots of people do with Warhammer stuff, Kalinas. A lot of people just are only in it for the painting, which is totally cool. But like Warhammer Underworlds is good for that. If you just like want to buy a collection of models more to paint than to actually play them. Going a little hard on the highlight there. Oh, the bot's back. Oh, damn, they're on fire tonight. Report. Hide user. Oh yeah, that Necromunda Ash Waste box is cool. Stepping up their game. Yeah, building decks just like solo was probably like what I spent a lot, or like one of the more enjoyable parts of Magic for me. Pokemon Magic the Gathering Commander, that would be funny. Just because Pokemon cards are a thing. Is that what you mean by PKMN? Yeah, for a while there was no bots. There's like, maybe it was, I don't want to say like 5 or 6 streams ago, it was like close to when I started like streaming regularly again this summer. There's like the first couple streams the bot kept showing up and then it was away for a while and now it's back. I've definitely heard of like other YouTubers experiencing bots with very similar names, so it's like not exactly surprising. Just, yeah, it's just like an annoyance. But, you know, it just takes a few seconds to deal with, really. I don't know who they expect to fool, really. I'm quite liking the way the blend is looking on the chest here, personally. Pokemon cards are good candidates for tokens. Hello, MJRL Hobby Stuff, thank you. Yeah, the Magic the Gathering D&D makes more sense than the 40k crossover. I suppose that's why it happened first. The one that made the least sense, though, was the Walking Dead crossover. I only, like, heard about that one tangentially. I didn't really pay attention to it when, like, everyone was talking about it. Well, I guess we can focus on finishing up this part. Thank you, Dolfo. Oh, Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering. That also makes a lot of sense. Shipping limbo, that's always painful. I mean, a dedicated Gunpla store probably needs your money more so than Amazon does. Yeah, you did say Amazon there. I'm guessing there probably aren't that many good Gunpla deals to be found on Amazon. The last time I looked at Gunpla on Amazon, it seemed kind of overpriced. My default advice is to always shop from a local store if you have one in your area, but you know, not everyone does. Also, I don't know if my head was blocking the shot there. Crust sold out. Oh yeah, they did. Oh, they did Fortnite? Damn. Okay, Secret Lair, I see. I've heard a bit about Secret Lair. I haven't paid much attention to, like, the releases as they come out. Always a fun weekend trip to take to the hobby store. What's on the... Okay, well... I think we need to let that area dry, actually. Magic the Gathering's always been a money machine. What are you talking about? Oh, they finally reprinted the reserve list? How did everyone feel about that? I feel like that's generally a good thing. But that's just me. Okay, we're gonna like try and have a more deliberate direction to the blending of the paint on the palette. We'll go dark to light. And we'll just have 2 blobs of paint on the palette to start, and just so then the only thing we have to go back and refill most of the time will be glaze medium. Yeah, I mean, I've got those HobbyLink Japan affiliate links. They don't get you any discount, but they help me out if you end up ordering something. But don't do it for my sake. Do it if you want to buy something from there for yourself. I don't have a video. I have like my how to hand paint Gundam video from April briefly touches on wet palettes, but I give 2 shout outs to like other YouTubers who talk about wet palettes, so I would mention that video. The one I'm using right now is the Army Painter wet palette, which shouldn't be too hard to get, and it's very good. The Frontier Wargaming wet palette I was using in my latest video is good as well, but that one, it's more like would come if you were already getting something from Frontier Wargaming, or like their online store wouldn't necessarily be one you go to for... I mean, I guess you could buy just the wet palette from them, but it's from like Latvia, so you might need to like order some more things to get free shipping. I'm not entirely sure. They angered both sides of the aisle. Milk or dry? Interesting. Yeah, I can't say about the HobbyLink Japan back order situation. Now, am I gonna start on another new area now? Well, we definitely want to finish this spot. So let's work on that first. We're just over 2 hours. I'll probably do the usual like 2.5 to 3 hour stream. We'll see where I'm at when I use up the paint I just loaded the palette up with. Glazing doesn't, like, technically you can glaze with just water, but if you use, you know, like, glaze medium, it works better in theory. There's like definitely easy ways to mix up your own for cheap. I think it's like mostly just thinner, matte, medium, and water. But don't quote me on that. Like I wouldn't say you have to go out and buy Vallejo glaze medium to paint the way I do. It also depends on what kind of environment you're in. But like Vallejo glaze medium is like a product that you're likely to find at a hobby store if they carry paints for minis. Yeah, I think my hand will cramp more often when I'm holding those separated, detached pieces. It's like the act of holding those or like bracing with my pinky gets, like I find my hand gets cramped painting those more often than the big one like this, but yeah, my hand can still get cramped doing this. It's not too bad right now. The, what gets cramped more often is just like the regular motion of, you know, just writing muscles, regular carpal tunnel stuff with this hand that usually gets sore before things get sore from just handling the model. But you know, if it gets too sore, I'll stop and take a break. I'm usually pretty good at not pushing myself too hard in that way. Alright, see you, Caleb. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, maybe for something as small as a pilot figure, I don't think you need a painting handle. You could probably just, like, stick it on a cork or something. There's lots of ways to make DIY painting handles. Painting handles are a pretty useful tool for mini painting, but I don't know how useful they are for Gunpla. Like, I have a few painting handles, and I haven't really used them for Gunpla ever. As far as I can remember. I know painting that inside area there is hard to see on camera. Yeah, I mean, those figurized Dragon Ball Z kits would definitely be... Alright, those are models you can definitely apply a lot of a miniature painting mindset to. I have it's not one of the figurized kits, but I have a Bandai like Goku kit. It's one of those like borderline monopose, like easy to build $5 kits I got from a speed building competition at the anime convention this year. I actually won a Ultraman kit for coming in like second place, I think. I was like second fastest overall. It's pretty fun. Don't know how I would do in a speed build competition if it were like a full-on proper high grade or something. Yeah, the Display Mini Vice. That's seems like a good product, but yeah, a little pricey. $113. Damn, I thought it was only $50. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I still feel like this piece here, the gradient isn't like drastic enough. Perhaps that will look better. Oh, too much water. Gotta mop that up. It's too wet. Let's try that again. Hopefully that's better. The mini vise and handle, that's what I was thinking about. Oh yeah, I will probably get the Blue Eyes White Dragon kit. What's funny is the like local retailer I usually order stuff through. We were messaging about that, and then also when I was talking with Blue Prep about it, we all had the collective, or we all came to the same conclusion of like, man, we wish it was Red Eyes Black Dragon instead of Blue Eyes White Dragon, because we're all Joey stans, I guess. The wetter the better. I mean, most of the time, yeah. That was the problem. There was like excess water on the brush itself that ran into the paint. Wetter the better. If it's glaze medium, yeah, maybe that applies, but too much water and you just can't control it. That WAP gets out of control. Yeah, I don't really trust Amazon for prices on hobby products a lot of the time. It seems kind of off. By off, I mean overpriced. It's always hard to turn the part of my brain off that's like, you know, I'm looking up at the gradients up close and personal because I'm hand painting it and I can see brush strokes and stuff. I'm like, it needs to be smoother, but then, you know, if I'm looking at it from this distance, like most people would be, it's like, no, that gradient looks smooth, bro. It's fine. Big WAP energy. Yeah, Red Eyes Black Dragon. Yeah, I guess like there would be less surface detail on that kit just because of the design of the dragon, but it would be super cool. Even though, like, personally, I think the best design is Red Eyes Darkness Dragon, but that's like a bit too much of a deep cut for a Bandai kit yet. The massive stall you avoid at the mall. Supplies from Wish. Yeah, Wish, that's a... Wish is like a real roll of the dice sometimes. A summoned skull, interesting. Alright, see ya, Darren. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, Blue Eyes is a little chonky, I guess. I wouldn't call him a chonker, though. I don't know where he is on the chonk chart. I think we need some more glaze medium on the palette. Yeah, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Went down like a true hero. This makes the story, you know, even more sad. Or tragic, I suppose. Yeah, Calder. It's, I mean, I spent years as like a big camera nerd. Like for a long time, my main focus was like photography and stuff, and not gunpla and painting. I mean, I picked up the model painting hobby before the photography hobby, but it's a solid period of my life where like my main hobby was the photography and being a big gear nerd, which comes in handy when you're doing YouTube. I mean, phone cameras, if you're out on a hike during the daytime, even like at sunset, I guess, taking phone pictures, like the amount of money you would spend on like a professional camera going up past that is diminishing returns. Like phone cameras are pretty good these days. There's still a place for like, you know, cameras if you're doing you know, you're trying to get some proper landscape photos done, but I'd say you can still use just a phone and do some pretty like adequate photography in a lot of situations. Phones, like where phones start to lack is when you want to get like certain depth of field effects or like low light performance. I'm pretty sure Fiverr does their streams off a phone. And I've seen other people do it too. I mean, obviously, using a like a mirrorless camera, a DSLR camera like I'm doing now has a lot of benefits too. And most serious YouTubers, like, you know, will eventually get a camera and not just do it all on their phone, but a lot of people will start with their phone. Sometimes that's what's necessary. You know, it's like 3D printing too. It's like getting into the whole camera gear stuff. It's like a hobby in itself. Chunky boy. Yeah, lighting is everything. Especially when you're indoors. If you got the right lighting, you can almost make a phone camera. If you know how to use it, you can make a phone camera. Or you could fool someone into thinking it would be a professional camera. I think once the paint on the palette is used up, I'll wrap up this stream because I will be doing another stream this week. I haven't officially planned it yet, but it's looking like it'll be Friday, if not Friday, Sunday. I should have that finalized like by tomorrow. And so I'll probably schedule it like tomorrow night or Friday morning. And that stream will probably be continuing to work on the purple. I mean, phones are a lot smaller and lighter and easier to mount than certain cameras would be. So there's an inherent advantage there. Yes, storage on the phone is the thing too. It's where micro SD cards come in handy. I think it's time to move on to the head. I'm just gonna quickly stand up and stretch my back and blow my nose off camera though. Give me like 15 seconds. Oh, that WAP's looking pretty messy. Just look at all three colors. I don't know by the end if there'll be like something filling up this void here. Maybe when I'm doing... Yeah, like the green won't need much space. Maybe when I'm doing the final like purple edge highlights, I'll like creep into there a bit. So then at the end, I've got like a nice fully used paper to take a picture of, because You know I gotta have those palette shots. Okay. Back to the bottom. To work on the top. Dolfo, I broke the burp record tonight. They all just happened before you showed up. I think I was at 8 burps. It's crazy. I don't know how many people still watching right here for that. I can testify to the truth of my statement. I wouldn't lie about that. Well, if you want to watch the VOD, it'll be in the playlist. I'm not sure if my, there was an update emailed out to, my YouTube email the other day about how Team YouTube is, updating the channel layout so that it'll finally have a separate tab for shorts and live streams. Because, one complaint people have had for a while is, when you look at your channel videos tab, it has all your shorts together with all your regular uploads and your live streams, and generally just regular videos are the main focus of a channel, and so it's not always good to have them mixed in with shorts and all that other stuff. That's why a lot of people have second channels for their stream VODs and shorts. I'm not running a second channel right now because, I got enough on my plate already. So I just unlist the streams and put them in the thumbnail. But I'm wondering if I'll relist them and stop that practice once they implement the new channel layout changes. I haven't done my research yet to ask the YouTuber people I know whether that would be a good idea or not yet. I have no desire to do YouTube shorts really, and I'm gonna stop making Instagram reels sometime soon, or at least take a break from them. But maybe I would upload some of my old reels as shorts. It's free real estate. It's the argument I got in my head anyways. I know YouTube's been pushing shorts really hard, so everyone says if you want to succeed, you gotta be making shorts 1 to 3 a day, and I'm man, I can't get that excited to make vertical videos, I've been putting them on as or I've been making some casual Instagram reels as an afterthought to videos. And I've been I've got some footage of the Sazabi that can make it into reels eventually. Other than that, the desire to make vertical videos is quite low. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for confirming the burps, people. Yeah, I feel most of my subscribers, Dolfo, are prefer the longer content over shorts. The color shift that is on the inner frame, glad you like it. I like it too. It's violet old copper. It looks a lot more like a violet than an old copper. It reads as purple most of the time to me anyways. Yeah, thanks TikTok. Live streaming via YouTube somewhat solved the storage dilemma. You mean the storage of if I was recording this VOD to my computer? I mean, yeah, but if I was to upload, unless there's a way I'm not aware of, it wouldn't solve the storage problem if I was uploading the VODs to a second stream, but I've been having weird things going on with my internet upload speeds. I don't know if my provider is throttling me or something, but every time I've been uploading a YouTube video, it's been taking way longer than it should, and I haven't figured out why. I haven't like done any real troubleshooting yet, but like the artifact video, the uploading was really slow, and I was worried I wasn't gonna be able to release it on time. It ended up being fine, but you know, you gotta like have enough time to upload a thing and wait for the processing to check. And the stream VODs, if I would save those to my, or I have saved those to my computer before, and like usually they're between like 30 and 35 gigabytes large. And I don't have like a crazy hard drive or anything like that. And with the slow upload speeds, it's like, until I figure out what's going on, it's like re-uploading those VODs to a second channel just isn't feasible, because it would take like it would just take like at least 12 hours to upload one of them, maybe? I don't even know. But in terms of like, you know, the YouTube stuff and all that, it's kind of like I'm in the like part-time mindset with that right now. You know, like this Sazabi, I'm just painting it on stream, not doing a dedicated YouTube video for. YouTube videos aren't stopping, it's just like, it's just one aspect of the work I'm doing right now. But I guess anyone watching this stream can know that insider knowledge that essentially the like YouTube video work is happening part-time right now, because YouTubing, for the amount of work it takes, it doesn't have a great wage, or it doesn't pay well. But you know, it's the whole thing of like, well, I should be grateful to be able to get money doing this in the first place. Speaking of getting money, thanks Duncan for donating $5. Oh well, thanks for stopping by at all, man. Appreciate it. Hope to see you again soon. It's funny that a super chat comes in just as I'm complaining about how YouTube pays very little money. I mean, in the AdSense way. I think part of the problem is also the content I do is very niche, so it's just hard to generate the same kind of views that like a lot of YouTubers that do this full-time do. And I'm also like, I don't have the kind of upload frequency that YouTube encourages either, which is fine. I'm like, you know, YouTubing is just part of what I do. It's more about painting the models, you know. And the entertaining content is fun to make too, don't get me wrong. But you know, if I'm not getting compensated fairly by YouTube for it, you know, if I do like the cost analysis of how many hours it takes to make a video versus how much money I make from it, like, I'm not gonna burn myself out just churning out fast content to please YouTube. Dolfo, you just had to donate $5.01 and usurp Duncan like that. Suppose I can't complain. Appreciate the super chat though. You will not be forgotten, Duncan. I don't know if you're still here or not. Sorry, I went on a bit of a rant there about complaining. I was just trying to justify it's like, I'm not gonna participate in that YouTube grind if they're not gonna treat me fairly. I'm gonna just work the way I want to work. I'm still putting in full-time hours either way, but I also gotta like live life a bit, you know. If I made that joke in that video in April that I'm always burnt out. That might be true, but I gotta maintain the manageable level of burnout. Oh yeah, I mean editing the stream VODs down into other videos. Yeah, that's a whole thing too, but I would need to hire someone to do that for me just because I don't have the time of the day. Oh yeah, I saw your B-Girl project on Twitter. I like the base for that too. Cold as ice. I think that rant I went on basically covers my thoughts on it. And also, or I guess the last thing I'll say is like, I can grind at the YouTube all I want, but there's no guarantee they'll like give me the amount of money I need to cover my living expenses. And if I neglect like covering my living expenses because I'm grinding too much YouTube and then I have to like, or then I go bankrupt, you know, that'll end up harming the YouTube channel in the long run. So I gotta make sure those finances are taken care of. Oh my, Duncan is coming in with a counter attack of $5.02. Look at that. I guess the display on, I didn't see what the widget display said when Dolfo was on there. I see like it says 363 for Duncan. Thanks, Swig. The Great Donation War. Does that make me the war profiteer? Yeah, Dolfo on the like chat overlay is Dolfo's is like $5.01, and then Duncan is like CA $5.02. So I don't know if Dolfo's is, I guess, like American dollars, probably. You're both equally special in my heart. Oh god, here we go. Oh, that's cool that the base came with it. I mean, I have to remain a neutral party in this donation war, so this is between you two at this point. I'll just continue receiving the money, thank you. Makes a pretty big impact on my bottom line, considering the ad revenue I've been getting. Okay, I should stop complaining about YouTube payments now. I'm sure you've all heard other YouTubers complain about this kind of stuff before too. As a YouTuber, I can say that YouTubers should be allowed to complain about this stuff. But you know, to a limit. Yeah, thanks again to Duncan and Dolfo for the bidding wars of October 12th, 2022. The most wholesome comment or chat war there's ever been. For me, at least. And this back part of the head's a little trickier to glaze. I think we're gonna have to... Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to probably finishing the head next time. Or off camera, I should say. Mortal Kombat! Yeah, gotta get up to that $25 an hour somehow. $25 an hour, I mean, depending on what currency you're in, that's sort of where I, like, value myself at. But, you know, as a freelancer, you don't... Or being a YouTuber is essentially being a freelancer. You don't really get the luxury of having an hourly wage. I almost had to, like, or the battle report video was almost like mega postponed because I got a job offer like around the time as when I was starting editing it, but it was a job that I said to myself I would only take it if it was like, you know, $25 an hour minimum, and that was not the wage they offered. All right, see you, Duncan. Peace out. Appreciate ya. More glazed medium. I think I started using these new brushes in the last stream, if I remember correctly. Maybe the stream before, but these are like synthetic Winsor Newton rounds for watercolor. And they're, for synthetics, they've been pretty good for this project. Especially this like size 5 is just like a really good in-between size to have. I just got them at like this art store that's walking distance from my place. Glazed medium, it's like thins paint down in a way where it like will be more level. I don't know, it's hard to describe. It like does the same thing thinner does, but it has like more medium in the mix that helps the paint be more level, so it's like meant to be a glaze of like a uniform transparent color over top, so like increases the transparency of the paint while like maintaining its levelness. Sorry, I feel like I'm doing a bad job of explaining it, but it's been a while since I've like watched a video that have explained the process. I think one of the first videos that like introduced me to the technique of glazing was Dana Howell's video from a long time ago. Maniac has a pretty good video explaining glazing too, if I recall correctly. Synthetic squirrel brushes, I've never heard of those. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like Tamiya leveling thinner. Whatever it says on the bottle here. So the bottle says, water-based acrylic medium, add to colors up to 50% to increase flow and transparency and slow drying time for shadowing and detailing. Matte finish, very useful for working with pigments. So yeah, I get it would like flow. If you like thinned with just water, it would like kind of pool up more. I watched some Don Serrato's like long time ago, or by a long time ago, maybe like a year ago. I used to follow him, I don't follow him anymore. He mentioned me, or he like did a video once where he like mentioned me in the community post or like video description because he was like doing a similar painting technique and saying like paint it like a mini. That's the only time we've like really interacted. Well, I can still tell that this glazing is going to take a long while, which is no surprise, but it's been going a bit faster than I thought it would. So that's good. I'll probably try and get a solid amount of painting done off camera tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be able to get so much done though that the next stream will be like painting green and the purple will be done. That would be pretty. That would be a lot of painting in one day. Yeah, perhaps Cyber Scorpio. I'm sorry, my knowledge on paint mediums and thinners is apparently a bit lacking here. I'm good at using the stuff, but describing exactly what it does, that's a whole nother thing. Where did you find the squirrel brush? A cel-shaded manga paint job? Yeah, I've considered that. I'm sure I'll try that, try something like that eventually, but it'll be hard to get my brain to not, like, want to blend the colors together. It's like, no, I need to blend those gradients. I can't just not. Huh, Hobby Lobby. I'll have to Google squirrel brushes sometime. Nine years, damn. What's it like making cabinets? I'm assuming that's what you do there. Yeah, if you've been doing it for that long, you must be good at it. Yes, the good old organic sanding. My brain is too plop-hilled when I hear sanding. I just assume it's sanding nub marks. Bit too much on the brush there. Has anyone in the chat been watching since the very beginning? Has it been an incredible transition or incredible glazing of gradients this time? We've gone from messy splotches of pink paint to a tasty blend. I mean, if you don't watch the entire stream from start to finish, you don't need to feel bad about that. Just in case anyone was thinking that. I appreciate you watching the stream, even if it's just for a couple minutes. I've been focusing on the model a lot more than the chat and the camera, so sorry if I missed a lot of stuff in this stream. On the bright side, that just means I've hopefully been providing engaging painting content. This Sazabi will probably be the project that's like had the most stream hours, so in theory it'll be a good resource for people to look to if they want to see like textbook model mayhem style painting in real time. Oh, that's good to hear, Dolfo. Thank you, Wrecked. Oh, that's nice and wholesome, Cyber Scorpio. They must appreciate you then. Yeah, I mean, when I'm glancing at the panels where the gradient is done, it's looking pretty, or I'm looking pretty, or I'm feeling pretty satisfied with it, is what I'm trying to say. And we're almost out of paint on the palette, so got any final questions, start thinking about them now, or posting them now. Back to this foot area a bit. Oh, look who showed up right at the end. I'm nuking it, I'm nuking it. Damn, they keep coming back for more this stream. When I checked a while ago, I like went into the YouTube settings and checked to see what users had been hidden from the channel, and a lot of the original bots I had banned, like when it first happened, the users had just been deleted, so that makes me think YouTube's doing something about it. Alright, see ya, Lothendor, thanks for coming. Thanks, Heartbox, I will continue sharing it, don't worry. Depending on where I'm at, you just might have to be patient. You know how it goes. LEDs, I mean, I've thought about doing an LED on a Model Mayhem project. I haven't decided when or if I'm gonna do it, though. It's definitely something I've thought of. I think, like, you know me, I'm, like, a lot more about the brush work than the modeling work, and my skills lie with the brush, so when it comes to stuff like LEDs, or like I'm much more like confident in my abilities in terms of like just painting on the glowing effect. That's my like mini painter brain taking over. The little bit of experience I have had with LEDs were frustrating, but I'm not like completely taking it off the table. There's always so many different things you can do in a project too. It's really easy to get like overly ambitious. Oh, that's not quite the shade I need. Yeah, mostly what's left on the palette is the bright tones. Yeah, like Otaku Builder specializes in the LEDs, you could say. Yeah, the stuff he puts out is like pretty crazy. Mad respect there. Yeah, and I bet Studio G learned some stuff about LEDs from Otaku Builder. YouTube is blessed with those long Otaku Builder videos where you can see basically the whole process a lot of the time. So we all have Otaku Builder to thank for putting those excellent LED videos up online. Yeah, the hours. I mean, I think all builder, or like most serious builders, put a pretty insane amount of hours in. Yeah, S-Dark has... Yeah, S-Dark and Otaku Builder, those are some of the best, like, LED applications of LEDs I can think of. Shane, have you seen the S-Dark Virtue Gundam video? That one has some pretty crazy light displays in it. The one thing that always gets me with S-Dark videos is like all that crazy LED work, and I'm like, oh, he's just repainting it in the anime colors. So my brain is always like, oh, I want to like come up with my own color schemes. and it like it isn't that tickled by just red, white, blue, yellow, but you know, to each their own. There's plenty of exciting LEDs to look at. Alright, see ya, Dolfo. Thanks for coming. Thanks for all those super chats. Well, shame. You should definitely check out that S-Dark video then. I'm pretty sure it's S-Dark I'm thinking of. Alright, my painting energies are nearly empty. I'll just be rinsing off this brush and give you all one last chance. Say anything you want to say. I'd say that was a pretty solid painting session. Renews my confidence in maybe being able to finish this by the self-imposed deadline I have, but you know, if I don't make it, that's still okay. Gotta treat myself with care, you know? Might have to... Well, I'll be changing the water after this. I'll give this more of a rinse in the sink. Good morning, JST. It's nighttime for me. I'm ending the stream soon. What primer do I use? On this project, I use this primer. But I'm not like dead set on this being my go-to primer. I'm still trying to figure out what my preferred one is. I like, if I'm painting with my lacquer paints, I'll use Mr. Surfacer 1200. Obviously, it's hard to go wrong with that one. Yeah, well, that's all the painting I'm gonna do today. Stay tuned for the next stream. It will be probably Friday. I'm still working out the rest of my schedule. Probably Friday, if not Sunday, but I should, if it's gonna be on Friday, I'll be announcing it on social media probably like Thursday evening. So, you know, like always, stay tuned for that. Either way, I want to do at least one more stream this week. And thanks again for coming to this stream, everybody. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Good night.